A married couple has recently moved into their new but historic apartment. One day, they decide to go explore around the new neighborhood. The couple stumbles upon a boutique, and the young woman has found a dress she likes and wishes to try it on. The young man then sits outside the fitting room and waits while she does so. 20 minutes passes and the young woman still has not emerged. He asks the boutique worker to see if his wife is okay.
There's no one back there.
Confused, the young man checks the space and discovers his wife has disappeared. He asks all the boutique workers and they don't recall seeing any woman who resembles his wife. He calls her phone but nobody answers. Worried, he begins searching for his wife, starting with their neighborhood, then places she frequents, and eventually all over the city. He searches all night and all day, but fails to find her. He calls the police for help, but they can only make a note of her disappearance at the moment because she does not have any disabilities or injuries that qualify her missing as an emergency. Exhausted, he decides to return home to recuperate. On the way to their apartment, he asks all his neighbors if they have seen his wife, but they all say no. Finally, he reaches his next-door neighbor.
Is something wrong?
My wife has suddenly disappeared. Have you seen her recently?
I'm sorry, but no. How can I help?
Please keep an eye out for her and let me know if you see her.
The neighbor agrees and informs him he has begun remodeling his home and wishes to apologize for the noises he makes. The young man enters their home, and loud noises are coming through the wall adjoining his neighbor. Utterly spent, he soon falls asleep on the sofa. In the following days he searches repeatedly for his wife, but she seems to have completely vanished. Meanwhile, his neighbor's remodeling project continues. Every night, he hears a faint, repetitive knocking coming from the adjoining wall, but he ignores it. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and the young woman remains missing. One night, the knocking coming through the adjoining wall becomes abnormally loud. Angered, he marches to his neighbor's home and forcibly knocks on the door. No one answers, but the noise from inside becomes even louder. He notices a shadow moving in the gap between the door and the floor. Thinking his neighbor is ignoring him and hiding in his home, he demands him to come outside. But there's still no reply. The young man peeks into the dark apartment through the large keyhole on the door. He can vaguely see a person struggling. Shocked and thinking his neighbor is in trouble, he calls for the emergency response. Minutes later, 2 paramedics arrive. After trying to reach the neighbor without receiving any reply, they break into the apartment. The medics and the young man notice something flopping around on the floor. At this moment, the neighbor returns.
Isn't she beautiful? I'm so happy with how she turned out. She is my best toy yet. Let me turn on the light.
With the lights on, the young man and the medics can finally see the person clearly. It is a person whose arms and legs have all been severed, like a roly-poly toy. Her mouth is wide open, as if screaming from pain, except there is no sound.
Was she pounding her head again? I do sincerely apologize for the noise. She does that when she misses you. But I swear I wasn't going to keep you two apart forever. I was going to show her to you when the time comes for you two to reunite. You know, as the complete set.
The young man finally recognizes this mutated person as his missing wife. And he suddenly realizes the pounding he's been hearing every night in the past months was his deformed, limbless wife hitting her head against the wall, begging him for help. I hope you think of this story whenever you or someone you know is in a fitting room. Do subscribe, like, comment and share if you like to hear more creepy stories. Thank you for joining us. This is Dorian. Until next time.